because I have no idea, so you're telling me.
Since when have I ever known what I'm doing, love? Hi everybody, welcome to Big OGGIE World. Welcome back to Kelly in the kitchen. The reason Kelly's here in the kitchen today is because I'm not allowed electrical equipment, sharp objects. It's a blender.
It is a blender.
It is. If you've seen our, or my recent little video short that went out about jam tarts, which we've now eaten, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a laugh about, you know, which jam tarts do you like, which you not like. Turn off the machine, thank you very much, dear. It's a working kitchen in here. Real house. God, do you think we can afford a set like this? No. Right. So, if you remember the jam tart little short video, a lot of people made various comments, and I thought, well, we make some of our own, because my mum used to make jam tarts all the time.
Right.
So, admittedly, I don't have my mum's recipe, but I found one. And the reason this is pretty simple is because we're using that. We're using a blender.
And it is a blender as opposed to a food processor.
Yeah, we will be doing other recipes with pastry for a food processor. We've got a treacle tart to do. But today we're going to do a jam one. Now, as befits our family, we're going to use strawberry jam and apricot jam. We won't be using that dark stuff. Alright? Blackcurrant and all those things.
No.
Still, we don't need that at the moment. We're going to put these to one side. As always, all the ingredients will be listed below.
I need that, don't I?
You will need this one just a little bit. So, we're going to put everything into the blender. So, as we're making a pastry, excuse me, 175 grams of plain flour. Lovely. To that you add 85 grams of unsalted butter. To be honest, we've only got salted, so hey, it'll be fine. Most butters are not particularly strongly salted now, although I do find that the own brands are stronger than the named ones nowadays. Lovely. And to that we add, just to get that, I suppose to make the shortening bit really,
Yeah.
1 tablespoon of icing sugar. Doesn't have to be level, obviously.
I just think the more you put in, the shorter it'll be.
Yep.
And
a
it's
little
a
touch
sweet
of
pastry,
little touch of salt.
Now, do you want to add salt, bearing in mind that we have got
Well,
salted
this is the
butter?
thing. I don't think we need to. But if you're having you have unsalted butter, then you add a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
We don't need to. But if you're using unsalted butter, we would use a bit of salt. So this egg yolk doesn't go in yet. The idea now is that you pulse this. Bang! Wait for it. I know. You pulse it until it becomes fine breadcrumbs.
Right.
So we're going to do that, and we'll come back in a second.
Okay.
You're a bit brutal with that, aren't you? If you don't have a blender, you can see why I'm not allowed to use one. If you don't have a blender, you can do this by hand with the usual way that we've done it before, where you just crumb it together with your fingers until it becomes a breadcrumb-like consistency.
Yes.
Then we're going to add 1 large free-range egg yolk, and they are very lovely ones. And then we're going to pulse it up again, and that should hopefully then become some form of pastry. Not easy with a blender, is it?
The thing with using a blender is you've got a very small blade thing, whereas with a food processor it spins out.
They did say use a blender. I suppose to make it easier because some people wouldn't have a food processor. But quite frankly, you could just stir it up in a bowl.
You're going to have to do that anyway because the egg is automatically set into the stuff, so that didn't really pan out, did it? See, what happens with the blender is you get like that.
Yeah, thank you very much to Delicious Magazine for getting that bit wrong. Okay, this is one reason why we're trying out these recipes. The idea is you just mix it up with the egg until it becomes a kind of ball of pastry. You could do this in a bowl or do what Kelly's done and just throw it on the table. It all works. There you go.
You can see where the egg yolk is because the egg yolk is so orange.
Yeah, we've got posh eggs today. But they don't have to be posh eggs, they can just be eggs. So the plan with this is once this is all turned into a ball of dough, we will then flatten it and we will wrap it up in cling film. Then we're going to pop it in the fridge for about half an hour just to kind of firm it up a little bit. But as you can see, there's very little liquid in this, it's just the egg.
It's the egg and the butter, so the more you work it,
The warmer it becomes,
the warmer it becomes.
Yeah.
And the more it sticks together, which is why then you chill it down again, because you don't want it to be too warm.
Fair enough.
Although it is much easier to roll when it is warm, I find, because it's more elastic. But we are making a short pastry.
We are, certainly are. So, let's just get this bit, or let Kelly get this bit to the point where we need to wrap it, and we'll do that and we'll show you.
Right, would you like to roll out some cling film then?
I do my best. I love cling film. It's a nightmare stuff, isn't it? So, the idea is you make a ball, but then you flatten it a little bit, because that'll ease it when you roll.
You need to roll it.
There we go. Lovely. I won't use a sharp knife, I have to just come across the table. The other tip we will give you is don't wear your wedding rings when you're making pastry. You took yours off and that's a very good plan. The amount of times things can end up in that.
Well, it just gets all stuck in your rings.
Yeah, we're not making a Christmas pudding.
There you
There's
go.
something magical inside it. So, this now then goes in the fridge for about 30 minutes. We'll sort the tray out, show you what to do with that, and we'll show you about preheating the oven in a minute. Okay, so whilst that's in the fridge, we're just preparing the next part really. Standard cupcake tin, 12 holes.
Not a muffin tin.
Not a muffin tin, they don't have to be that deep, but they are deepish. You want to hold the jam. According to the recipe, you're also using a 9cm corrugated cutter, which will be right. So what we're doing is we're just using a little bit of butter to grease the cases, the holes. So the oven needs to be preheated to 180 degrees fan, 200 normal, gas mark 6. Okay. And once we've done all these, and we just waited those about another 15 minutes for us.
There we go.
For the pastry, we will roll it out and make some jam tarts. Easy as that, really. So this has to be rolled out to about 3 to 4 millimeters. Well, fairly thin. You know, let's not be technical about this. And we'll obviously roll it, cut it, until we actually get enough to fill the tray.
This is what I was worried about. It's a very short pastry and it's going to break.
Well, that's the problem. Would stick it in the fridge make that better, or would
No, it would make it worse.
Oh, okay.
The warmer the pastry is, the more elastic it is because of the eggs and stuff and that. So by chilling it down, you've made it more crumbly.
Okay. So at the moment, it's basically going to be cutting out the middles and then building another ball and then cutting it again. So just take your time, be patient with this. This is a very short pastry. I've not used this recipe before. We thought we'd give it a go. I will say, I'm just being honest here, we look at all the magazines. This comes from a Delicious magazine recipe. I actually got it online. Delicious sometimes gets it wrong.
We have had a couple of recipes that have not come out good.
And that's no disrespect to Delicious, I think sometimes they've got it wrong. So we shall see today. We've done a few recipes before, but we've never actually shown because they didn't come out very well.
Right, I'm not going to take that any
No,
thinner.
I think that's probably as good as you want to get. So using the fluted cutter, use as much as you can.
I'm just going to have to patch it, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Now they're saying we should get 12.
Indeed.
Not sure about that.
See?
And they're breaking straight away.
I would suggest that you cut them warm them slightly in your hands.
May work.
Put them into the tray and patch them. Be just very gentle with them. That one then, okay.
As you can hear, we preheated the oven. Remember, we make recipes, but we're also trying out new things all the time for you, and that's one reason why we're trying them out. So that if it goes wrong, you kind of know it's going to happen already. Yeah, straight down the middle, split straight in the middle. You have to patch on a bit as we go around, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're going to be rustic ones.
Well, they're homemade, aren't they? I see you're being brave. You're going to the other 6. I don't reckon we're going to make 12 with the amount of ingredients they gave us.
We can just do that. Right, the other thing I would also suggest is don't put flour on your table.
Oops.
Well, I didn't realise the pastry was going to be this.
Because that'll shorten it even more now.
Exactly. I would suggest if you're going to use this pastry, and you don't have to, you can use any pastry you want, but if you're going to take this recipe and use this pastry, oil your table rather than...
It's a confectioner's, well, butcher's kind of thing, isn't it? Not butcher's, baker's thing. That they use oil quite a lot when they make bread and they do those sort of things. They don't really use flour because that changes their consistency of their dough. So we're going to do our best.
I'm going to work this a bit so it gets a bit softer.
Yeah, we'll come back when we've done as many as we can, because it's certainly not going to be 12.
See, that's rolling a bit better now, it's warmer.
Okay.
I think I'd be more inclined to say don't chill it down.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I think a lot of people, they say chill pastry.
Well, the reason they say to chill it is because it helps prevent shrinkage in the tin.
Right.
Because it's relaxed,
yeah,
it doesn't shrink so much. But if you look, the cutter that we're using is quite a large cutter, so it's not like only just in the thing. So I think that it probably would have been okay to...
I'll get 4. Okay.
We're not going to get another one out of that though.
We'll get 8, we may get 9, but we wouldn't get 12. So again, a little bit hit and miss on the recipe level.
And the other thing is, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but rather than putting it in the tin and pushing it down, I'm placing it over the hole and then pulling in the sides.
Kind of pinching them in.
So that it drops down naturally. It doesn't, I'm not trying to push it down, because as soon as you start pushing it, it splits.
Now it's definitely the right size cutter for their measurements. In fact, it's 2 millimeters less. So
I'd say that most likely our pastry is a little thicker than they have said.
Might make one more if we're lucky.
But
that's fine. Again, it's not like you have to have a certain amount of things. You tend to find with a list of ingredients, they're all kind of based on whatever that person come up with at the time. And like I said, they may be rolling them thinner. They may have a slightly shallower tin than we've got. Might be using a slightly smaller cutter, even though they've told us what cutter to use. A little bit better with a slightly smaller cutter. The ones I did the other day, which you've seen already with the scones, that was quite a small cutter, and I was actually saying that was a large cutter at the time, but actually it was quite a small one. So again, each room, whatever. I think what it is when you make lots of jam tarts or cupcakes or anything, you kind of know the cutters that you'll be using all the time. You get used to your regular sizes. So yeah, I think we'll get one more, but one will be it. My old mum now would be saying make a little tiny little thing, I think little jam roly poly.
That one's...
Now, I will say the interesting thing about this, I don't have the recipe because my mum passed away before I was really going into cooking. She had a recipe for mince pies, which could well be a pastry just like this, incredibly short. Now, when it worked, it was the best ever mince pie you'll ever have. When it didn't, they just exploded. Which, you know, again, these things happen. So, on a good day, we'll be fine. On a bad day, it won't. Oh, that's all part of the fun of cooking, isn't it? Hey? So, we'll put these to one side.
I think a little bit left. But again, I think had we probably gone and tried a little bit thinner, we
You may have
probably
not made
might
it.
have got another 1, but we certainly would not have got 12 out of that.
No, it's fine. So we've ended up with 9. Okay, if you want to look this recipe up, it is available. We're basing this on a recipe that they've just actually put on their emails actually for black cherry jam jam tarts for Halloween. But one, we don't have a black cherry, or well, actually we do, but the kids don't like black cherry. So we thought we'd utilise it for this. They also wanted to put peppercorns in it. That would have been strange. But hey, Delicious does that as well sometimes, and they do a bit of a random thing sometimes going on. So,
Right, now the next problem that we have is that we have greased 12 holes,
yeah, well,
and if we put that into the oven
it'll
now,
bubble up.
it will burn,
Yeah.
and there will be an awful smell of burning butter. So I'm going to get a clean dishcloth
Okay.
and try and scoop that out of there.
Look, I know sometimes our recipes seem a little bit random, but we're basically just like you. So we will find a recipe, we'll give it a go if we don't know how to do it. So we're trying all the different things
Absolutely.
as it happens. And you would have exactly the same problems that we'd have right now, but they will be on camera. So we're going to show you what happens to us, so you actually don't do them.
Well, we've never ever, said that we were fantastic cooks or whatever. I know I have run kitchens and I have run bars, kitchens in bars.
We're adventurous cooks. We like trying different things.
But
We're home cooks.
that's my thing. And when I went for the last interview that I ever did, which was for a bar kitchen in Spain, it was an expats bar mainly, I told the lady straight, I'm not a chef, I'm a home cook, but I think I do pretty well.
And most of the time we do.
Actually, I turned that place, the turnover was fantastic.
She's bigging herself up again. Look, what I am glad about is I was going to do this recipe by myself. Can you imagine it? We'd have done this video by myself, and I'd have gone, this is all going, not in front here, but pear-shaped. Let's call it pear-shaped, shall we? Could have been so much more. And I'd have been panicking, thinking, have I done something wrong? But I haven't. No, it's just what it is.
6, 7, 8, 9. So what are we going to do?
4 and 5 really. I go 4 apricot. Well, I'll go 3 apricot because only one of us definitely only wants apricot. The rest of us will eat strawberry.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll do these 3 apricot.
Yep.
And
the
then
other ones
those
will be
6 strawberry. Top tip, mix your jam around a bit in the jar before you scoop it.
Yeah. Another thing is you can put it in a bowl and you can warm it up slightly because again it's easier to dollop in really. So we're going to fill these up a second and then we'll be back to put them in the oven. And thanks for your patience because this is just what it is sometimes. But cooking's fun.
It should be fun.
It is fun, but it's also frustrating, but that's all part of the learning curve of what we're doing. Don't come on this channel expecting perfection every time because you won't get it. But what you will get is really nice tasting stuff. And if something comes out really badly, we'll blooming tell you about it and we'll do a video talking about things that have gone wrong and things that have gone right, just so that you know in advance if you want to take the chance or not.
Right.
There we go.
The other thing is don't overfill with jam.
Yeah, when they bring these out of the oven, they're going to be super hot, so you're going to let these go cold, all right? Don't touch them, don't put your hands on the jam, don't put your fingers in them, because they will burn. We are talking sugar. That's the thing about a posh jam, or conserved, you've got loads of strawberry in it.
Delish.
Let's be honest, when our kids were little, the only reason you bought posh jam for their strawberry jam sandwiches and stuff was so you could steal the strawberries out of them.
Shush, you're not supposed to tell people things like
They
that.
didn't like the lumps in it, but you bought it so that you could steal the strawberries out of them.
Yep. Mummy's perks, that's what that was.
Yeah, like a chef's perk.
Yeah. Like the butchers always get the best cuts
Yeah,
because they know how
that's
to
the
cut them out properly.
I will say, these are very deep.
And these are cupcakes.
These are cupcakes,
So
yeah.
don't, whatever you do, use a muffin tin.
No, you'll use whole tin of jam. Whole jar of jam, sorry. We may still.
It wasn't a full jar. I think we just weren't got enough.
And that's the other thing. If you have a slightly more shallow, tarting, I guess, you would probably get more pastry. We've got a bit more if you want to put that in. Are you happy with that?
Where have we got a bit more?
We've always got a bit more strawberry jam lying in this house.
Just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, because you opened a new one without using the old one.
I opened a new one because I thought I made scones, remember?
Yes.
Well, I couldn't find the other one.
No, because it didn't smack you in the face, John, did it?
Yeah, like most blokes, don't look very far, do we? Go, oh, I can't find nothing.
If yours isn't at eye level, you don't see it.
Well, I can't bend very easily.
There you go, you can put that
There you
back.
go. Right, so pop these in the oven for about 12 to 14 minutes. And then they'll be done.
Okay.
So we're going to pop these in, let Kelly sort that out. I'll show you a picture of what happens when they come out. Do you think we ought to do a taste test this? I think you probably will.
Just
to see just how short they really
pastry
are.
is, yeah.
Okay, so we'll see in a little while, but make sure when they come out, they've got to be really cold before you eat them. Okay? So very quickly, I'm filming this on my phone as opposed to the main camera. We have just taken these out of the oven. They did, how many minutes? 14?
14 minutes.
14. They look really good. They look like they're cooked. There's hardly any shrinkage. We just got to let them go cold now. Sorry about that. Okay then, darling. We managed to get them out.
Yeah, we only broke one.
Forgive me, I just had a pasty. Crumbs. Well, in Cornwall. Yeah, only one broke, so it wasn't too bad. That's quite a fragile one, so we're going to probably eat the fragile one, aren't we?
Yeah.
They came out okay. You used a little spoon, just gently ease them out of the tray. Luckily, they're all greased already. They look good.
Yeah. Should we try?
It's in eating, yeah. You're going to have to, like I said, there's a bit of a broken bits and pieces on this one, isn't it?
Oh, God. I can see why they break.
Yeah.
That pastry is so short.
Very
Very good, though.
I can't talk. My mouth's not gone stuck with pastry now. It's incredibly short.
Yeah.
We did know that might happen when they put icing sugar into pastry, because it always does. So,
If you use salted butter like we did, do not add salt.
no, we don't need any more. They're very good. They're very good. They're very fragile. That one's obviously, I think, a bit too thin. Maybe that's what's happened with that one. So you do have to put the pastry a little bit thicker. Because of the sheer amount of jam that's in them, because of the depth. Again, if you have a slightly more shallow tin, maybe, you wouldn't get that problem. But they are delicious, I will say that.
Yeah.
How good they are to give to your kids, because I think you wouldn't get them out of the room.
You need to definitely put them on a plate. Don't let somebody wander off with one in their hand unless you want jam all over your floor. But pastry-wise, the pastry is delicious. It's just very difficult to work with.
Yeah, it's finding what to do with the pastry. Like I said, it's just like my mum used to have this recipe that was either brilliant or would explode.
Yeah.
And I can see that being literally like this.
I would suggest that you don't fridge it.
Okay.
They say to rest it in the fridge. I think it was harder to work when it came out of the fridge than it did when it warmed up a bit.
Again. Yeah.
So, it's up to you, whichever way you do it, but I found it much easier to work with it when it was slightly warm.
And there was no shrinkage.
No.
Virtually minimal shrinkage.
Yeah.
So give them a try. Let us know what you think, because they're worth the effort. They're worth the effort.
Wasn't a lot of effort, was it really?
It was just a bit of a fear, because we've never done it before, and obviously we're learning with you. We'll do it again and learn even more. But I think they come out very well. You've just got to be a bit careful with them. Like I said, they're very heavily loaded with jam, and there's not a lot of pastry there holding it all together. So maybe a shallower tin, bit less jam would work.
Very good though.
But very good. Maybe this might even be a similar pastry to use for mince pies, but that would be really risky. We'll see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Please hit a thumbs up. Make comments. Try the recipes. We're trying some of these things out new with you. Sometimes they're recipes we know and love. Sometimes like this, it's a completely different recipe we haven't tried before.
Yep.
So, give them a go.
Come along and join us.
Yeah, we'll be doing mince pie soon. I've got a treacle sponge I'm going to do, a treacle tart I'm going to do.
Syrup sponge on it.
Yeah, a syrup sponge, like a fancy version of the one you get in packets, because they're rubbish. Yeah, but a whole lot more videos coming.
We'll see you all again soon.
Bye everybody.
Bye.